everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. With me today, as always, is my co-host, Troy Brittingham.
As always, Troy Brittingham, and you're Jeff.
And I'm Jeff, and that's it. That's nobody else. Oh, just kidding. D's back.
I'm back.
D's back. Hooray.
Is my mic even on?
It is. Do you not hear yourself?
I'm back.
Yay!
That was a
No
really short clap for that. It didn't seem like it was a whole lot of
It was
excitement.
an appropriately sized clap.
I think we wasted. I told you to start recording when I got here. That was my hottest.
Yeah. You're still hot, buddy. Ooh, smoking hot. Invincible, season 2, episode 5 and 6. We're doing both of them. One shot. Let's go.
Let's go.
TB&J! TB&J! Alrighty, everybody. First things first. Episode 5. Thumbs up, thumbs down. For a reminder, episode 5 is called This Must Come as a Shock.
Yeah, it came out like 3 months ago, right?
Are we doing
Came out
this
last week?
as a duo or
What do
one
you mean?
at a time?
One at a time.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Or
Episode 5.
Episode
thumbs up,
4
thumbs
came
down.
out a few months ago.
Yeah.
And
Troy.
then
Let's not do this.
Troy, what do you think?
I'm thumbs up on this one.
Of course you are. D. Come on.
5 it is 5. 5 is a. Oh my fucking god! It's a thumbs up.
Oh,
it's such
fuck
a good
yes.
episode.
Yes. Thumbs up. I genuinely believe Invincible has not had a bad episode yet. I think every episode has been at least like a B.
Bangers.
Like B, if not A or S tier. Every episode has been absolutely incredible.
I will say that like episode 6 is fine.
Episode 6 is maybe a little weaker, especially coming right on the heels of 5.
They planned it this way, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have these episodes. I feel like if we went back, we would say that, like, oh yeah, this episode is.
Yeah, it's a cool
X, Y, or
down.
Z. There's plenty of episodes in season 1. I'd say that we would say, maybe, no, not a lot, like maybe 1 or 2. But yeah, they have to have these episodes, and they have, and it's neat that it's happening this early, and they still had a ton of shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Great
Yeah.
character development stuff. But that's episode 6, and episode 5 is holy fuck. The Serpent Society or whatever it is.
The Lizard League?
Lizard League.
Yeah. Lizard League.
I just used the real version.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Serpent Society does exist. I think they're Spider-Man villains.
I as this scene transpired, as usual, I'm getting ready for work. So I'm just watching.
D famously watches every new episode like the immediate morning after at like 5 a.m. in his underwear.
Yeah,
getting ready for work.
Like on my phone, like
Rubbing your eyes.
Rubbing my eyes, like emptying the dishwasher, doing all the chores that does.
I also do all my chores in the morning. Oh man, that's so cool.
I just don't do my chores.
I wake up, I pop my ADHD meds, and then 30 minutes later, when I get the energy to get out of bed, I get out of bed and I do a bunch of chores.
People don't bother me at 4 to 6 a.m.
That's also what it is.
It's the best part of it all.
No one's home because my wife leaves at like 5:30 to go to work.
It's kind
Why don't you guys do the way more effective thing of just procrastinate for months until finally you're like, oh no, I need to fix my life.
We like to live in a zombie apocalypse version, like that cool part where you just you and the mall. It's like that every morning. That's how I live.
How often are you?
The only way I know to live my life.
How often is one of your family members bitten? You have to consider shooting them though.
Excuse me?
How often are your family members bitten, and then you have to consider shooting them?
I mean, like none in my version because it's the real world, Troy, and we are not actual zombies.
I was just asking a quick clarifying question.
Fine. So, Komodo dragon. I remembered this scene as it was transpiring in this morning in my bathrobe, and I was sitting there saying, "This is." Exactly how I remember it. It's fucking horrifying. And with the now full purview of seasons of episode 6, I can safely say that the Atom Girl, little
Shrink Ray,
did not survive originally in the comics. This is a new avenue that they have having her alive.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a new twist on the whole shabizzle.
I'm kind of confused on why they didn't do that because I heard that I saw afterwards from other things that she, which I believe is he in the comics, right?
Maybe.
I want to say I heard that too.
Oh, that could be that could be possible.
I'll fact check that while you continue.
They haven't really had like an arc for this character so far in really anything that I remember so far. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't kill her.
And if they did gender bend, that could be a reason why.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
But the bigger thing I think is duplicate.
You're correct. Originally, Shrinking Ray was a man.
I'm almost correct.
That
I'm
could
so
be
fucking smart.
they're going to kill 2 women characters in the same episode.
Maybe.
Duplicate is, okay.
Technically, they kill like 8.
If you are not into spoilers, skip over 1 full minute.
I would say give it 2 or 3.
Give it 7 minutes. give it 3 to be
I'll
sure.
put a link in the description.
I would
Jump
say
to that point.
You're never
probably
gonna do that.
go watch the episode
So listen,
and then watch the episode.
So
1, 2, 3 spoilers. Duplicate was
She's
not the
alive.
last duplicate, but it does not take away from the absolute banger of a scene that is. Oh, by the way, it's timestamp. Like,
Yeah.
that was it. But like, this is one of her physical body countdown to death is one of the most visually visceral, brutal moments of the series, and then followed by all of the 3 at least moments that Rex has to go through.
Oh yeah.
Which is he doesn't just get small, and then watching Komodo dragon eat them.
Yeah,
And
just
then-
Shrinking Ray.
Then being horrified at that, Duplicate dies, which is the second wave, and then he gets his hand bitten off, and you're like, holy fuck, and his head explodes, and you're like, this doesn't matter, and then he gets shot in the head, you're like, yep. And then you're like, what the fuck just happened? This is insanity.
Dude, it was absolute crazy.
I don't remember if Rex. I don't remember how I read it, so I could have read it all through. But like, if you're left with Rex dead at the end of an issue, holy shit! If that's it, like, you're so fucked. Like, you're so fucked. Like it's so good. Kirkman fucking kills, and they nail it in this rendition of it. They're just, it's brutal.
While we're still in the skip over part, I do want to point out my very first idea when I saw Duplicate was like, oh, she's number 1. There is a 0. It exists somewhere in a bunker. Like, she'd be stupid to not do that. She'd be invincible if she did. She would never die, essentially, as long as 0 stayed alive. And then when Duplicate died, I was like, all right, so 1 just got killed, smashed into 2. Cool. They're going to get 0, right?
Now it's
and then
1
they
and a
had
half.
the funeral, and I was like, oh, shit, do they, like, not know about 0? Are they going to completely redo that for the show? I have no idea where they're going yet.
Yeah, duplicate characters are really obviously hard to kill. I guess the
Yeah.
spoiler point was mute.
Well, I haven't gone. So we said jump ahead to where I click down below. So then I'm going to put a timestamp in the description.
Ow.
Yeah, so we're still in the spoiler territory. But, like, in the comics, Troy, I'm very sorry to spoil this if you
No,
didn't
you're
want
fine.
to.
You're fine.
There is a Duplicate 0.
Mm-hmm.
Kate does have a 0 that is locked in a bunker underground somewhere so that she can never die. And if 1 ever does die in the field, 0 will just make a new 1, and the 1 will go out and become the new Duplicate, in big quotes. So the fact they had the funeral with Immortal, like, actively crying, like, thinking she's dead, makes me think, oh, does Cecil not even know?
But
Which
does that,
seems like a huge
does that,
stretch.
Does that Duplicate have the memories of the Duplicate that's kind of out there? Like, or is it like just physically them and they don't have their...
That's
you
a
know?
really good question.
Because
and
they don't like meld back, because that's like usually with Multiple Man and Madrox and X-Men.
Right.
Really emphasized by the great writer Peter David, who should get all the credit in the world for half the X-Men shit in the world.
Oh,
these days.
absolutely.
and great writing in comics. Half the Hulk stuff and all that kind of stuff is absolutely him. Anyway, Peter David, awesome. Check him out. But like Madrox would always have to like reduplicate. He would have rogue duplicates that would be out and have their own life. And you'd think and you can never die. Like I mean,
Sure.
It's the easiest comeback of the like that was a duplicate, or there's another one, or you can always bring them back.
Yeah. I mean, they touch on something similar to that in the beginning of season 2 when she starts dating Immortal, because when Rex questions it and says that Immortal's gross for dating Duplicate, she says that she has felt herself die over and over and over, and Immortal was the only one that could really relate to her with that, and that's how they bonded. And he considered them kindred souls for that, even though he is ancient as fuck. She's just died over and over and over,
Some would
which
say
I guess has
immortal.
emotionally aged her, you might say. But if she does know what it's like to die over and over, and she's felt that, I have a feeling that the clones, if they don't share memories, they at least share physical sensations, which is also reinforced by the fact that Duplicate, when she duplicated herself in the shower with Rex in season 1, the one that we saw was actively enjoying herself while the one in the shower was getting pleasured by Rex. You remember that from season 1? Yeah. So I do think the clones, before melding, are still connected, if not completely.
As she says there, when she's like, "Oh, it wasn't even with real Kate."
Yeah.
And she says something. He says something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
And then she says, "We're all the real Kate." Like
yes,
we like they. And what is great about episode 6, and this is why there are no real like shit episodes. There's fucking bangers, and there's fucking like,
and then there's good ones.
Movement, and they're still all great. But that episode had the just beautiful Kirkman trait of explanation of just like, oh, nonchalantly built world building, like, oh, her powers were from a curse, and like it's the exact type of thing that would be complicated in its own field, like in the Duplicate universe or like her own book if she had it. And then it's just like, yeah, we never fucking touch on that in the team book. Yeah, this is where her powers came from. This is all the shit she's been dealing with. She also has a brother with the same exact powers.
Yeah, I assumed when Immortal said family curse, like they could all do it.
And I can't wait till you figure out the name.
I instantly, as you said that, I was like, what's a guy name?
Yeah,
and
like,
a multiplying word.
Yeah, yeah. If you can guess it without actually knowing it, and I can,
I'm gonna think on it as we continue.
Division.
Oh,
no,
I hate
Division.
Oh, I hate that.
Slice of pie.
I'll come up with another one. You
I'm
continue,
sure
and then I'll get around to it.
Adam
West? No, I'm kidding.
West. Anyway, okay, spoilers over, and
spoilers
go.
are over. Welcome back. If you skipped ahead, we hope you enjoyed it. Your little skip ahead, so you didn't get too spoiled on some other weird
skip
things.
aheaders.
Yeah. Troy, what moment stood out to you the most in episode 5? What was your absolute favorite highlight reel moment?
In episode 5, I watched them back to back, so let me try to remember.
I also watched them back to back. It starts with Mark on Thraxa, and then it ends with Rex getting shot in the head.
Yep.
So from A to B.
I mean, unfortunately, we did just talk about all the lizard. What are they? The
Lizard League.
Lizard League. I was going to call them Lizard
That is
Squad.
how episode 5 ends. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the one that stands out.
That's as brutal as episode 1.
I was immediately reminiscent of the Guardians fight in the first episode.
I knew that I liked Rex. I don't think that I've ever really come to terms with how much I like Rex in this show, because during the whole thing, I'm just like, Komodo Dragon smashes Kate, and I'm like, oh, and immediately I didn't even think about Ray. I just went, oh man, I hope Rex gets out of this, and then he eats Ray, and I go, and I'm like, oh no, I hope Rex gets out of this, and he gets shot in the head. I was like, oh no, This show has done a really good thing of and I feel like there hasn't really been anybody who actually dies and stays dead other than Red Rush. Off the top of my head, well, I guess all of the Guardians except for Immortal.
All the Guardians, yeah.
But that's like episode 1. I'm trying to think of somebody else in the middle of there, and I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. So it
There's
seems like a lot of people come back.
Yeah, people do come back. I mean, it is a comic book after all.
But that's not a huge problem to me. I'm not saying that as a negative. But it was a whole thing of like they have the gun up to the back of his head, and I go, oh, they cut there. Every other show I've watched, they're going to cut back and he's going to there's going to be a way out of it, because why would they cut there?
Yeah, I was like, he's going to like smack it away with one of his little explosive things.
Mm-hmm. And then
he's got this.
And then they cut back and it's the same scene and he just shoots him, and I'm like, oh.
Just right through the fucking head, too.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
And then
same in the comic.
And then this
Same thing happens.
God.
And then this episode ends. I don't know if we want to talk about what happens immediately after that, but
I mean, we can. The description of this episode says 5 and 6. We don't have to keep them as segregated.
But I feel like most times when somebody when shows like try to like double triple fake you out, I'm like, oh, okay, like knock it off, just do the thing. Mm-hmm. This time I'm like, it worked on me every single time.
Yeah, it did as well, and I'm glad you brought up the Rex thing about how you didn't know how much you liked him until he got shot.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Invincible with my wife because I'm not allowed to watch it by myself because she loves it so much.
It's great.
She would get mad at me if I did.
It's one of the best shows on TV.
It's honestly my favorite on TV right now. But we're watching it, and the battle with Rex is happening, and when he gets shot, I heard my wife gasp. And she was like, no, you got to pause it. And I was like, what's wrong, babe? And she was like, it's so fucking awesome that they made Rex this character I hated. They gave him that moment with Eve in the last episode where he actually had a heart-to-heart and made her come back to superheroing. And then he has this whole fucking kind of redemption and then gets shot in the fucking head. And I'm sad that he's gone. Like, she went through all these emotions from the beginning to now of Rex. And then when he came back...
Fucking love Rex.
Yeah, and then he's back in the hospital bed talking to Invincible and then later talking to Eve about how he used to be a dick to women. He had no idea why, and he's having all these changes. Me and my wife is just like, oh my God, this is an amazing fucking character. He is so well written, and every character in Invincible is not a throwaway character. Mm-hmm. Every fucking character is three-dimensional. They have arcs. They have emotions. They have motivations. Everything is so...
Part of the thing that Kirkman does really well is he takes these trope characters, and just unabashedly portrays them as tropes. You know?
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck this fucking character because they're a fucking trope. Like,
yeah, fuck this
they're
guy.
whatever.
He cheats on his girlfriend.
I get it. He's Aquaman, but a fish.
And then he then finds a way to give them this arc of like understanding, like this. He gives them this reflective moment of like, I'm a fucking joke, and you're like, yeah, you fucking are. And then the moment where you're on their side to be like, yeah, you're a fucking you fucking dummy. Fucking finally, they go like, I should be a better person, and let me help you. And then you're like, yeah, you should too. Oh no, what are you doing? And then he always makes you get he gets you with it every time because the trope is so ingrained. He's really a master at doing these types of things, but he surprises you. He's a very, very talented writer, and I just don't think that this kind of writing gets any kind of respect in the grand scheme of things. I mean, he made an entire genre. He made an entire production company of AMC because of his Walking Dead, because what they did with his core material.
I still believe Walking Dead Season 1 is one of the best single seasons of television ever.
But Invincible is absolutely his magnum opus, in my opinion. And it's an amazing piece. At the very least, I did not finish the series in comics. I read up to a long way in, but there is like a whole. So I'm like so excited to see it all play out here because it feels like I'm reading the comics in condensed time, and it's beautiful. Like this is. I actually, in like when I was in college,
mm-hmm.
the early like just post 9/11 era.
Yeah.
I had these absurd fantasies. Absurd. Like, absolutely absurd fantasies.
I don't think we can talk about this on
No,
the
no, no.
podcast.
We can. Of like, I was like, what if I became like a, production person? Like, what if I managed to get like a cartoon to be in like prime time? What if a cartoon was in prime time and it was like the fucking best shit ever, and it was like epic, and you put like music to it? It was just like awesome, and it was like people were fucking like serious. You took it serious. It was like anime, What if I could do that in American art? Like a primetime show that everybody's into it, like that. And I had like all these ideas, like stuff like that, and it was all just Dragon Ball Z, but like epic.
Yeah.
And that's what we're fucking watching. We're like, when it comes down to it, this is really good writing. Some of the really well done, serious stuff in a cartoon. I haven't been on the show, everyone, because there's been not a lot of good stuff on. Okay, and I couldn't bide the time to do it.
You didn't want to watch Night Swim with us?
I didn't. I did. I didn't have the time to put aside for it.
I don't know if you know this, Troy.
live
We're
that life.
kind of idiot dudes that are approaching 30 that kind of have no real life. I have a wife, but like no responsibilities outside of that. D's got like a whole ass life and a family and a career, so it's a little harder.
But all
to
of
pin
it
him down.
should be second to a podcast, I think.
You know what? You're
Listen,
right, D.
yeah.
Why aren't your
Listen,
priorities in order?
I'm not an alpha.
Yeah, that's I've
met
been,
your wife.
I've
No,
been
you are not.
saying it since day one.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I'm an Owen Wilson type.
We hear
She can find my battles for me.
She does. She's oh god. Your wife is scary. I would not want to fucking cross your wife at a bar.
Nor me.
That's why the podcast comes second, Troy. I want to ask you your opinion, Troy, because D, I know the only one of the three of us that read the comics.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Oliver?
Oh yeah. I actually like a lot of the Debbie stuff happening around Oliver.
I think Debbie is like my second or third favorite character in this whole show. I'm not even kidding.
I really like, and this is getting into episode 6 territory again, but I how dare you? I'm sorry. I love the whole interaction with babysitters and nannies and stuff like that.
Yep.
Where the one person just walks in and she's like, "Oh yeah, now you look great," but also, fuck you. I know exactly what a Cecil spy looks like from a mile away. Go away.
That woman looked like a caricature of an 80s Russian spy. Like, she just looked like a fucking, like, babushka, just with the fucking handkerchief over her head. And I was like, there's no fucking way she's not
If Debbie
a spy.
was into it, she'd have flown away on an umbrella. If the job called for it, she'd be like, "Yeah, I can do that."
Yeah,
Totally.
absolutely.
Fuck
You
yeah,
you
I
need
can.
that by today? Yeah, no problem.
Spoonful of sugar.
I also, as
Spoonful.
as an oldest child, I also love like good brother.
I know you do.
Situations, and I genuinely love.
Because you never had one yourself.
Huh? Yeah, no, but my siblings suck. Yeah, if you're listening, Ruby and Max, fuck you. No, I'm kidding. I love my siblings, but one of them was on this episode.
I was gonna
on
say,
this
of the
podcast.
three of us,
They hate you.
Yeah, no, they do. They think I suck, but I think they're great.
I was
They
gonna say,
think I'm trash.
when you three were growing up, you guys were
jealous of your
incredibly
pain.
close.
Oh yeah,
I've been over to your house many times throughout high school, and I saw all of you together. You and your siblings were so fucking close growing up.
we're also arguably closer now.
Yeah, you've only grown closer as you've become adults, and it's
pretty
honestly
gay.
really like
Yeah,
lovely
yeah.
to watch. You and your siblings have such a magical relationship, and I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
I'm not shitting on you. I swear to God. So I was curious how you felt about the Mark and Oliver thing.
No,
and
it's a thing
Debbie
that
taking him
it
in.
was a thing that I noticed and cared about immediately. I was just like, because you can also do the thing where it's just like, oh, my dick bad dad had a kid, and now I'm jealous of him, and I don't want to be near him or whatever. And he's just like, no, it's a fucking baby. It's not his fault. I love this kid.
Yeah,
And
so many characters in this entire show just show an incredible amount of emotional maturity.
What if you look like a bug?
That's true.
If you look
That's
at a bug,
true.
it's like flying home from space, just
Everybody
tossing
like-
out the window.
They're like, thank God he's only purple.
Yeah, thank God he's only purple. Sheesh.
He's still borderline.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I start seeing a
You know what?
thorax.
You don't want no eggplants.
Mark just taking the baby like it's a fucking baby. Of course I'm gonna take care of the thing. And he comes home and he's
I
like,
restrict
Mom,
that
I'd
from
love
the
for you to
record.
help me with the baby because, you'd be great. But at the same time, if you don't want to take care of your ex-husband's new baby with a different woman, I get it. I'll take care of it myself. And Debbie's like, no, you're not going to do that. I'll fucking take care of the goddamn baby. And then she ends up really loving Oliver. And Oliver calls her mama. And I'm like, oh my God, this is actually really fucking cute.
I'm Cecil, and I'm not upset.
Yeah. See, if you change your mind, Debbie, you know where to find me.
Nowhere to find me, Debbie.
Yeah. Just say my name in your house and I'll magically teleport. Because that's not weird or
But I'm
creepy
not-
at all.
But I'm not recording you.
No, not with cameras. I'd never do that. But there are microphones everywhere.
So the actual hiree that she gets here,
Yeah.
I guess it's episode 6.
Yep.
Who's openly
Yeah,
working for Cecil.
she walks in. She's like, yeah, I work
she's
for
like-
Cecil, but like I'm really good.
But she's like, and she justifies herself by saying, like, oh, all to the points that Cecil would even know, so it's whatever. But believable enough that she says, this is the way that my oversight, like, I get to work without oversight, and you're my boss. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like, I'm here because I'm trained to do this type of shit, and I want to help. So she has this, like, such pure motive, which is, like, exactly how you would read. So it's so, like, it's such layered greatness, but you're like, fuck, I'd take that, too. You put yourself in the position, you're like, nah, too good of a deal.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
Right, and your son can fly and lift couches, so you
Fuck
do
me.
need
Yeah,
that.
yeah, fuck
which
that.
sucks.
So yeah. So you're like, yeah, let's go. At the same time, though, I remember this, but I remember nothing. I remember loving all the parts of the series, and there's so many of them that I'm just like, I don't know what part to think next. I don't know where this goes. But my thought is that she, we love her, and then she gets brutally murdered. Is my assumption.
Oliver might accidentally murder her or something.
Oh, that would be
That'd be
too.
cool, right?
He's just
No,
a baby.
but-
It's not his fault.
But fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be right up the alley.
I mean, he was a baby in episode 5. He's now like a toddler.
Yeah.
He's saying words. He's
Yeah.
walking.
Arguably worse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got some sort of physical autonomy.
I've seen
teenager and found her attractive. Oh god.
Oh,
no.
no. Oh, God.
No.
I wouldn't put it past Invincible to do something like that though. They don't give a shit. They love
Like,
pushing boundaries.
Okay, so speaking of pushing boundaries and death,
Where is this going?
I don't know. It's just in my
Oh,
mind.
okay.
I don't want to explain it. But it did make sense in my mind. Either way, do you know his power set, Oliver?
I mean, I'm gonna
not.
assume it's borderline Omni-Man Invincible, right?
I'm assuming the fact that you're asking the question is no.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I remember either, but if I'm recalling correctly, it's different.
If you
He's
do
not-
not,
he's
if you
not-
do not like spoilers, please skip ahead until the second timestamp, I guess.
He doesn't fly and is strong. He's strong and he flies.
Oh, the old and flies.
Mm-hmm.
Made of flies.
He's made of flies, thus the bugs.
So I actually can't find his power set, at least not quickly. But he does grow up and take on the moniker of Kid Omni-Man and later Young Omni-Man.
Yes.
So I'm going to assume it's borderline Omni-Man powers.
I thought it was something else. To be honest.
You may just be a big fat dumb idiot.
It could be just be a big dumb hunk of shit.
You big dumb hunk of shit.
Big dumb hunk of shit.
I would love now if in the show he is
Well, in
different.
that case, I'm gonna explain it. What I thought he had Martian man like powers, like
Shape-shifty, stretchy.
shape-shifty stuff.
Oh, I don't think so. No.
Big dumb stupid idiot.
Big dumb hunk of shit over here. I also thought because they were like killing off the poor fucking Martian dude. By the way, he's all I can
Oh,
keep
yeah.
thinking. That's another. Goddamn, poor fuck. Just never gets okay. How did they miss that? How did they miss that in the scan? Cecil, get on your fucking horse, man.
Well, no, they say that everybody knew
He had one. Well, who knew?
about They
Oh
all
no,
call
I
out that
meant
he was-
the actual Martian guy who came back with at the end with the,
Oh,
the
okay.
brain in his
Okay.
gut. Like you didn't scan
Gotcha.
for that shit.
Yeah. So I'm the only things I can find really about Oliver is that Kirkman has said that it's like Superman is Omni-Man and Oliver is Superboy. So it's very
Yeah.
similar, if not
Yeah.
downscaled a little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. In
So.
the end, I thought it was. I thought there was. I thought there was some other power for some reason.
Welcome back from the other spoilers about
welcome.
Oliver. Unless you just kept listening because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Dude, this whole I also we never really touched on fucking Amber. Like their whole relationship is just handled very emotionally maturely. Like they could have just had Amber go off and cheat on Mark, and that's the end of their relationship. But instead, they're both like, why is this not working? And they confide in people they respect and trust for advice. And we get more delicious Mark Hamill line delivery in episode 6. And it's like, oh, your relationship's not working because he's always away saving the world and you're not. And maybe it's not right to be. Maybe it's just...
And you might need somebody that is saving the world all the time.
Ooh, is that a foreshadow?
I'll never tell.
We got real coy there. But no, it's nice that they're actually handling it like, oh, maybe we really just aren't right for each other no matter how hard we try, and we just need to break up. And it's one of those like polite, amicable with a handshake breakups. It'd be really interesting to see that for a change instead of somebody just cheating on the other or somebody goes through a terrible emotional change and it's like, oh, you're not the same guy anymore.
I still feel like they should fuck first before they break up.
They did.
Did they?
Episode 3 or 4, right before he went off to Thraxo.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I
that
meant,
was that was like months.
as a goodbye.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's just polite.
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
That's the handshake you were referring to.
Yeah, that it's a metaphorical handshake.
That-
In
that's
reality,
what-
it's a boning.
That what's happening here on when one of us.
That's
leaves
what
the
he's like.
podcast, right?
Oh, in my
Yeah.
world,
Okay.
in my world, a sock on the door means fucking.
I love that from Alan. Oh my god.
In
Also,
my world, that means
Alan-
fucking.
fucking huge. Dude's been taking roids like 90s baseball players. Man's fucking gigantic.
And we got faked out by Optimus Prime.
He's been trained by Optimus
Yeah.
Prime.
Who saw the fake out from Optimus Prime coming? Not
Probably
you,
pe-
D. You
probably
don't
people
count.
who-
You read the comics.
Yeah, probably
It was
people who read the
me.
comic.
Dude, fucking, and then he just rips his beard off because apparently that's how you show people you're a
The
Viltrumite.
mustache doesn't remove.
And Alan's like, oh, yeah, and now I'm just massive. I'm just this big old fucking beefcake of a guy now.
Oh yeah.
He's just so big. He was like tanking punches from Immortal and like
It's
didn't
like,
care.
It's like
It
I'm
was like-
totally immortal now.
Immortal was trying to beat his ass above Earth, and he was hitting him, and Alan was like mildly annoyed. He wasn't even like hurt, and it was like, dude,
Not even hurt.
dude,
Not even
Alan,
hurt
Mildly
emotionally.
I hate you too. But fucking, so Alan, he is that
Alien.
weird experimental prototype. Do you have to just keep breaking him, and then he keeps getting stronger?
Yep.
That's how he works?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, wow, okay. I was just right on the nose, huh?
He's the cat poster. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I get, you know what? That's, all
It's
right.
literally how he's built. It's what he's built for.
Okay, so every loss makes him stronger.
Every time he gets fucking ripped apart by a Viltrumite,
So,
he is twice as strong as the last
immediately,
So if
my-
I remove your eye from your head, then
So
you'll be a better podcaster.
Try to track this.
Yeah.
Who, in your overall estimation, that you have, what characters have you seen in this universe thus far that is like potentially Omega level?
Shit.
What characters?
I mean-
Beyond so I am taking out all Viltrumites. None of them count.
Okay, so we're only counting
We're
like
only counting
Who could fight a
Other-
Viltrumite and win?
anyone on that level. Anyone who is Viltrumite level. Who take out all Viltrumites, who's on the level?
Jesus, what a great question. I feel like Eve is close to that level. She just hasn't tapped into the full potential of her powers.
Fair.
Because
That's
she
who I
can-
was going to say.
She can manipulate stuff on a fucking
She's our
molecular
Jean Grey.
level.
She's our Jean Grey of
Yeah.
the situation. Okay.
She can
Beyond-
certainly
all right,
kick
cool.
ass.
That's one.
Exactly. That's one.
Who else? Who else could potentially get there?
I guess Mark, but every time he's tried, he's gotten his
No,
ass
fuck
kicked.
Well,
Mark. Mark's a
getting
Vulturite.
there, we're
Mark's
we're
Vulturite.
already
Yeah.
talking about Alan. So we'll just add that on because that's who we were talking about at the time.
Alan, does he count?
Allen can be in there.
Yeah, he
because
could
can
get
be
there. Yeah.
Killed by he's been killed by Vulturemites. It's arguable to say he cannot be killed that way again.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're out of options.
Are we putting a
Really?
mortal in there?
Really? Okay.
Are we not?
Interesting.
Who do you have as an
Interesting.
Omega?
You have nobody else you can. Not a single one you can think of.
I'm
Not on
still
Earth.
I'm still throwing some people together.
Come on, man.
Where are we?
You gotta think. You gotta think
I-
large scale.
I'm trying to think what other characters are
Yeah,
in the
I-
show. We had such a big break. I'm trying to remember the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Fuck. Maybe those fucking like science experiment dudes from season
I
one.
like them.
Okay,
I like
okay.
the brothers.
No,
twins.
the fucking like half robot, half crazed guy thing.
The zombie
Alright,
guys, yeah.
Interesting. Well, we had one of those kind of coming today. His
Yeah,
robot
he's
stuff
back.
are still in play. I was thinking more of, in a similar sense, but maybe one that has a romance with a certain devolving female.
Oh, Rudy? Robot? You think so? I mean,
He's the smartest man on the planet.
He is smart.
he is incredibly
That's
smart.
your Lex Luthor versus Superman
He's
situation.
he's your ultimate. Now, I want you to think about. So we've named two characters.
Rudy and Eve.
And
And Alan, three.
and Alan. Three characters, all very close to Mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long run series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You either die the hero.
Oh shit. Yeah, I guess so, man.
Someone's got to come out on top.
It's I don't.
It's a big Game of Thrones.
I guess. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I didn't count Rudy because in the beginning of season 2, when we were in that alternate universe where Omni-Man and Invincible teamed up and took over Earth, Rudy got his ass kicked completely. The only one that
I mean,
stood
so
up,
does Eve technically, but not as much.
Again, I think
what
Eve
happened,
has the
and
potential.
What did Rudy say in his scenes this time? What did he do? What happened when he had a human experience? What did he do?
He changed. Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I can help you too." What did he do?
Yeah, he removed his fear.
Yep.
This is never a good thing.
Nope.
No, it's never a good thing. He removed his humanity. He
I
removed
don't-
the thing that makes you actually care. Fear makes you care about others.
I did clock that as well.
So it's an ultimate Achilles heel to say when you can't handle fear, when you remove fear, you're not facing your fear. You have the same powers as one who has faced their fear, but without the
I
humanity
disagree.
to it.
Repression is always healthy and good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You should never face your fears.
Yeah,
That's
it's
stupid.
silly.
That's for losers.
Therapy's
That's the
dumb.
thing you're scared of. You should run away
wait a
from
minute.
it. That's obvious. Don't be a dummy.
Right. Why would you be afraid of a thing? If you were afraid of a thing, why would you be near it?
Yeah. What am I,
you-
dummy?
I'm excited for what's his name, Big Brain Man, to come back because we saw him.
Ooh,
Angstrom Levy. We saw him at the end of season episode 6.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting himself a brand new suit to cover that massive fucking shit growing out of the back of his head.
Yeah, dude, you look fucking fly now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally a
No one's
dapper
gonna notice
dude
your
like
big
you.
creepy head now.
Fucking right. You're not insane.
No. Also, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Is.
Did you say Kirkman me if I'm wrong?
I said correct me if I'm wrong. But he just has a big brain now, and he can travel through timelines. He doesn't have durability or strength, right?
Correct. As far as I
So
understand.
Invincible can just put his hand through his chest.
Seemingly so, but he's essentially a
Not that Invincible
teleporter.
would.
He's a teleporter / dimension hopper. They're hard to hit. It
Sure.
is kind of a classic trope of it. Like he can step through dimensions as they showed you, like step by step. So like it's
Mark had
it's
a little
always
trouble
the trope
with
that,
the
like,
Darkwing
you can't
guy.
you can't hit
Just
it.
going through the two
You're
dimensions.
Nightcrawler, but to an extreme degree.
Yeah.
I don't. Could he withstand a single blow from Invincible? That I feel like I don't know. I feel like if I saw it happen in the midst of a thing, I'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. But like in reality, that shouldn't be able to be a case. If
Well, you can
Invincible
also
punches you, you're dead. If you're a normal person,
Well, you
Yeah.
can also always say Mark is obviously the has
hero.
hints of a Spider-Man, Superman
Pulls
in him.
his
To,
punches.
yeah.
So you'll give it up to that. But that's what I was saying. Was that like you'll allow it to happen, but it shouldn't.
Yeah.
If that's the case, as far as I understand, I don't.
He shouldn't
think
survive
has
an Omni-Man
But
punch.
like but Kirkman's generally a better writer than that. I don't recall the details, so he could throw. He's a genius. He could have a force field that damages.
I'm sure he could
blow.
do something. It just seems weird.
He's basically a evil Reed Richards type or Kang. You know, he has all kinds of gadgets. that'll
You
help him
punched
out.
the extra squishy part of my brain.
So one other thing I want
Right,
to touch on.
right.
So when we saw Omni-Man is clearly not being executed.
part that makes me come.
Oh God. Okay. So when we saw Omni-Man clearly not being executed, and Krieg doing his best to switch him back to the side of the Viltrumites, and Omni-Man gives them nothing, just stares at him, fucking cold as ice. Loved it. He's clearly gonna get broken out, right, and join the good guys again. We all saw that coming. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I was more interested in what it meant that when he smashed the ground, it fucking smashed the metal. If he's in a cell,
Yeah.
like I don't know what Viltrumite cells are like. Like, what are you keeping him in? So, like the fact that he smashes the ground and he's like this, I don't know if they were expecting him to be weaker than he was. They obviously. So what do you think of the? So I actually love. There's so many cool things. What do you think make of the books?
Oh, the books. So that was my first thought, actually, when, and I think we talked about this.
It's like your 17th thought, technically, but yeah.
My first thought when he brought up the books at the end of episode 4, and I believe we talked about this when we did that episode of the podcast, was, oh, he's clearly an alien that traveled through space for hundreds of years, thousands probably. He just wrote down his adventures in books and tried to sell them when he got to Earth. That's what any alien would do, I feel like. So when he said, read my books, it's like, oh, his space adventures, he probably
Buy my book.
He probably met a space wizard on a desert planet who can help you out with a laser sword. Or, you know, he wrote about that time he almost died.
Space Racer.
Yeah. And then what ends up happening is he writes about times where he almost died, or crazy mythical
Things that could kill him.
crazy mythical space weapons like that infinity ray gun thing. And it's like, oh, this shit exists. Mark needs to find it so that he can build up an arsenal against the Viltrumite Empire. And as soon as that was revealed, like, oh, these are real, I was like, oh, of course they're fucking real. And now we're going to spend 3 seasons on like a national treasure in space trying to find this fucking gun and
all
this
the,
space rider hero.
So so what about the those like mindless monsters that were just like ripping apart Viltrumites because that's how their gravity works?
I was so fucking excited to see
It was
that.
so. I was like, imagine just like being like, sorry, here's a bunch of like, fuck you, and then just ripping a bunch of them. Like I could see that too.
Just like inverse Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, gravity's super strong on this planet,
So-
so every monster is just jacked.
Yeah, so I don't know what DC parallel that could possibly be, but obviously the Invincible gun or Speed Racer's
Speed
Space
Racer.
Rider.
Space Rider's gun was
Space Rider's Infinity Gun. Or Infinity
Space
Ray.
Racer is his actual name, not Space Rider. I think.
Oh, Space Rider is the book character
yeah, the
that
book character.
Alan,
Space
or,
Racer is I
Nolan
think
wrote.
the real one, or vice versa. I don't know. I think it's Space Racer.
Who cares?
Anyway, they that gun that he has is like the ultimate nullifier in Fantastic Four. It's an ultimate weapon. Whoever shoots it dies themselves, but it'll destroy anything that it shoots, anything that it hits. Like, so it doesn't matter how powerful it is; it will kill God, but it'll also kill the user. Is the ultimate nullifier. So it's some kind of variation there of that, mixed with a little Ghost Rider.
Space Racer is the real guy. Space Rider is Nolan's character.
Yeah, it's Space Racer is the real character. So
Real big quotes.
Yeah, real.
Sure.
The real one. So
Documentary
I don't know.
Invincible.
Are these like they're kind of like mindless ones from Fantastic Four as well, Mole Man shit? But like I don't know if they had an equivalent that could fight Superman.
I don't know enough about the Fantastic Four to give you
It
an
would
answer.
really be about Superman background knowledge if there's something equivalent to that.
Oh, sure.
I mean, most of anything you use to fight Superman, it's just kryptonite laced.
you could put
blah.
Doomsday or something.
Well, Smallville stuff is, but the comics are a little different.
Yeah, it's fair. I wasn't a big Superman guy. Unfortunately.
Either way, they're gonna be searching them out. Yeah, I think like you said, National Treasure style, and these artifacts to build a arsenal against.
Yeah.
The Viltrumites. But they made a whole point about like how Viltrumites have this very Alan fills in blanks, but he also has like information, so he like constantly builds the lore of the world. And he says how I don't know, Viltrumites, he may be dead. If he's not, I don't know, Viltrumites, maybe they haven't killed him because, they haven't had to do something like that for so long. It's like there's very cagey as to like why even Nolan is alive. Like why don't they just kill him? Why are they so adamant to not do so? What do you guys think? So if we raise the question of why would they not just kill Nolan? Why not do it? What could possibly be the reason?
Troy.
You can throw in the fact that he also knows where all the things that can kill all the Viltrumites are.
Yeah.
So why not just kill him? Be done with it.
Because you need to have him as the template of the person that tells you where all the things are.
Oh, so he needs to tell him about it. Okay, but they get his books.
Yep. Yeah, but his books suck and they didn't sell
Keep
anything. They
going.
didn't buy them.
Why might they want him not to be dead?
Him who? Who we talking about?
Omni-Man.
Why would the Viltrumites not kill Nolan?
Oh, fucking Alan says it. Like they don't like killing their own kind because there's so few of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not what he said. That's what you said.
Okay, that's what I said. There's very few of them. There's very few pure blood
He said
Viltrumites left.
it's never been. It hasn't been done.
Oh, it hasn't been done in a
what he
long
said.
time since like the
That's what he
first
said.
Viltrumite war.
But since you've noted it, how many Viltrumites are there?
Very damn few, I bet.
They keep not just Nolan, but also Mark alive, who's not even 100%, but they said he's close enough. He's like 90.
Yeah.
He's like he's not half human. Like
previous episodes, why would they be out having half-breeds with other species?
Why would they even bother? So it seems like, their wars cost them dearly, and though they're incredibly powerful, those left may be very sparse.
Yeah. You don't want to kill as much as he has betrayed the people, and he's clearly not going to turn, or at least not yet. Who knows which way it could go? It's like you're not going to kill him. He's pure blood Viltrumite. You're not going to fucking end that. I imagine there's less than 1,000 pure blood Viltrumites left. Even though, like, that doesn't sound like a lot, they're still crazy fucking powerful, every single one of them. But yeah, they're definitely not gonna just kill another one willy nilly. It's certainly not going to happen. Man, there is so much depth to every aspect of this universe that you look at.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to get just completely immersed in this universe, which is a shame because Amazon only wants to give me 4 episodes at a time with like 8-month wait periods.
No, it's worth the wait. It's good animation.
Yeah.
It's beautiful every time. It's hard to ask for because there's animation, man.
It's really well
It
done.
takes a really long time to do well.
Good animation takes a long time to get right. The voice acting doesn't come easy or cheap, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I just wish I had more of it faster, which, fine. Take your time, make it right, make sure every animator is paid a fair wage and they work 40-hour weeks or less. But still.
Kill.
Yeah. I think that concludes all of the 5 and 6 talk.
Yeah, man. Any speculation?
I think we speculated on a shitload of stuff. I don't have anything further, Troy.
I probably could squeeze something out of a stone, but I don't have another one off the top of my head.
Fair.
All right. So that'll wrap things up for episodes 5 and 6.
Oh, I also do love. This is a quick little last thing. On top of me really liking Rex, I also like the fact that he's really into home decorating magazines. I just think that's. I think that's just super cute.
Yeah.
Now I'm done.
Fucking cute.
I just kept wondering whether or not that was like a holdover from the writing era. Like, she has to throw in the line, how do you even find magazines? Like, you literally only like when this came out, magazines were honestly they still probably made some. They weren't great, but they were still reasonable for someone to say.
Oh sure.
In this portion, and they had to add the line of like,
where do you
fuck
find
reads
this?
like,
it's kind of more endearing now, though.
It is. The joke was that he read specifically home gardening magazines. Not that he read magazines in general.
Yeah.
If you got Maxims, no one would have blinked an eye, but you would still have to be like, you want fucking Maxim magazine, like, in print?
You want to, like, hold a magazine? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
All right, that'll conclude it for Invincible episodes 5 and 6. Thank you all for listening.
We love you.
We love each and every one of you. We will catch you next week.
Even, who
Troy,
I'm
you know what
thinking
next week is?
Yep.
Halo Season 2 finale. You ready? I mean, yes, it came out this week for listeners.
Yeah,
listening to this
it's
episode right
out
now.
technically.
Our
but
episode won't be out until Tuesday. Because that's how we do
I'm
it.
surprised by how excited I am by it.
Did you hear that, Matt Cat? Not till Tuesday. Yeah.
Yay!
I'll see you next Tuesday, Gadget. Tuesday.